Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Layden. I suppose this is going to be episode 0 to my Dolphins franchise. Week 1, episode 1 will be tomorrow. But this episode, we're going to look at the settings, the roster, the schedule, the schemes, everything that we can look at before we head into week 1. So let's start a new franchise, use the real-life roster, obviously. We're going to use the most recent one, so preseason week 3. The Dolphins are currently 0-2. They're playing the Ravens. I can't imagine they're going to win one of these preseason games. So let's go pick the Dolphins real quick. So I decided that I'm going to be the head coach of the team. So let's go here. Let's create a coach. We want the expert scout package. So I'm going to create my coach and then I'll show you what he looks like. There we are. I'm using my real name. We're using Miami's offensive and defensive playbook. The only settings that I changed is we put the skill level up to all Madden. We turned the pre-existing injuries to off. I just think it'll be better that way. We put the quarter length to 8 minutes and then the minimum play clock to 15 seconds. So let's take a look at the schedule. Since we're in the AFC East, that means we have to play the NFC North and the AFC South this season, so that's 8 tough opponents. But week 1, we're playing against the Titans. That should be a tough game. Week 2, we might be able to beat the New York Jets. Week 3, we're playing John Gruden and the Raiders. Then the Patriots, obviously, that's going to be a loss. The Bengals, we might be able to beat. The Bears, I think, are going to have a ton of potential this season. They should be able to win a good amount of games. The same with the Lions with Matt Patricia as their coach. The Texans, I don't think we're going to have any chance of beating the Texans. Then we're playing the Jets again. Then Aaron Rodgers and the Packers before our bye week. That's going to be a very tough game. We should be able to beat the Colts and the Bills. The Patriots, again, will probably lose. We're probably going to have a 3-game losing streak right here. The Patriots, the Vikings, and the Jaguars. That is going to be a tough stretch. And then we end the season playing against the Buffalo Bills, which I think we'll be able to pull that one out. Our starting quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. He didn't play last season, but back in 2016, he started in 13 games. He threw for 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. I'm hoping that he can perform better than I think he's going to because his backups are Brock Osweiler and Bryce Petty. There's not really anything to talk about right there. Probably one of the best players on our team is our starting running back, Kenyon Drake. At the beginning of last season, he was not the starter. That was Jay Ajayi. But once he came in, he ended up rushing for 650 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. He also had a receiving touchdown. Not the best, but also he didn't have a starting quarterback. So I think he has a lot of potential. Hopefully, he'll develop pretty well this season, and he'll be our star for the future. Kenyon Drake's backup is Frank Gore. Last season for the Colts, he started 16 games. He rushed for almost 1,000 yards. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, once again on a team without their starting quarterback, so he kind of had to carry the whole load. But I think he'll be a good, solid backup for a year. Other than that, we have 2 other backups. Our third string running back is a rookie, Kalen Ballage. He was drafted in the 4th round. He's out of Arizona State. I don't know all too much about him, but he is a young player. He has quick development, so I'm hoping that he could probably take over for Frank Gore next year. Our number 1 receiver is Devontae Parker. Obviously, last season, the Dolphins had Jarvis Landry, so he was the number 2 receiver. But this season, he's going to step in, be the number 1 guy. But last season, he played in 13 games. He had 57 receptions for 670 yards with a touchdown. Not that great. I don't know how much he's going to develop and be the number 1 guy, but we shall see. Our number 2 receiver is Kenny Stills. Last season, he played in all 16 games. He caught 58 passes for 850 yards and 6 touchdowns. I think he has the potential to be a number 1 receiver. We will see how Parker does, though. One of the new additions to our team is our new slot receiver, Danny Amendola. Last season for the Patriots, he played in 15 games. He caught 61 passes for 650 yards and 2 touchdowns. In real life, he tends to be injury prone. We shall find out if that'll carry over to Madden, but I'm hoping he can make some big plays for our team. Our 4th receiver is Albert Wilson. Last season for the Chiefs, he played in 13 games. He caught 42 passes for 550 yards and 3 touchdowns. Our starting tight end is Mike Gesicki. He's a rookie out of Penn State. The Dolphins drafted him in the 2nd round. He is 22 years old with quick development, a 77 overall. I like having good young players on my team that we can build with for the future. Our starting left tackle is Laramie Tunzel. He is 24 years old with quick development. He has 88 strength, 73 run block, and 80 pass block. A good young player. Our starting left guard is Josh Sitton. He is 32 years old with star development, so he's a little bit older than I would like him to be, but he has 91 strength, 91 run block, and 88 pass block. Our starting center is Daniel Kilgore. He's 30 years old with normal development, so once again, he's up there in age. He has 89 strength, 75 run block, and 75 pass block. Our starting right guard is Jesse Davis. He's 26 years old with normal development. He's a 66 overall, but he has 84 strength, 72 run block, and 70 pass block. I want to get a lot better at that position. Our starting right tackle is Jawan James. He's an 84 overall, 26 years old, quick development, a great young player with 84 strength, 72 run block, and 87 pass block, so hopefully he can help our passing game. Our starting right end is Robert Quinn. He is 28 years old, he's an 81 overall, and last season for the Rams, he had 15 games played, 8.5 sacks, and 21 tackles. And his backup is Charles Harris. He is 23 years old. He has quick development. He's a 78 overall. Last season, he had 2 sacks, 15 tackles, and I'm hoping maybe next year he can take over for Robert Quinn. Our starting left end is Cameron Wake. He is 36 years old. He has star development. He's an 89 overall, but he is up there in age. Who knows how much longer he really has left. But last season, he had 10.5 sacks and 26 tackles. Our starting defensive tackle is Devon Godchaux. I know I probably didn't say that name right, but he's 23 years old, normal development, a 74 overall. His only stat to talk about last season is 1 forced fumble. And our other starting defensive tackle is Akeem Spence. He's 26 years old. He's a 74 overall. Last season for the Lions, he had 3 sacks and 19 tackles. Our number 1 cornerback is Xavier Howard. He is 25 years old, a 76 overall. Last season, he had 4 interceptions, 42 tackles. Our number 3 cornerback is Bobby McCain. He is 25 years old. He's a 79 overall. Last season, he had 2 interceptions and 36 tackles. And then our 4th corner, he only played in 11 games, is Cordray Tankersley. He's 24 years old and a 74 overall. He didn't have any interceptions, but he did have 24 tackles. Our starting middle linebacker is Raekwon McMillan. He was drafted in the 2nd round of the 2017 NFL draft. He ended up tearing his ACL in the preseason last year, but he is 21 years old. He has quick development. He's a 73 overall, so I think he has a lot of upside. Our starting right outside linebacker is Kiko Alonso. He's 28 years old. He's a 73 overall, and last season he had 2 forced fumbles, a sack, and 78 tackles. Our starting left outside linebacker is Stephon Anthony. He's 26 years old. He's a 72 overall. Last season he only played in 8 games. He only had 11 tackles. And Stephon Anthony's backup is Jerome Baker. He was drafted in the 3rd round in this year's draft. He is 21 years old. He's a 70 overall, and I'm debating starting him this season. We'll see how he does in the preseason. Our starting strong safety is Rashad Jones. He's 30 years old. He has star development. He's a 91 overall, and last season he had 2 interceptions. He had 3 forced fumbles, and 2 of them went back for touchdowns. Our starting free safety is Minkah Fitzpatrick. He was selected with the 11th pick in the 1st round of the 2018 draft. He came out of Alabama. He is 21 years old. He already has star development, and he's a 79 overall. Now for probably week 1 and week 2, we're going to play on the regular sliders. We'll see how it goes. The only thing that I do want to change is the injuries. We're going to turn that down a little bit. I just don't want a ton of my guys getting injured like in my Buffalo Bills franchise. So I saw a lot of people playing on about 15 to 20, so I think I'll go to 17 for now. So I've been taking a look at all the schemes. Our default offensive one was a multiple zone run. And what I want to change it to is a vertical zone run. It used agile alignment to create multiple holes for the halfback to choose from and forces the defense into assignment conflicts. So I think that'll be the best bet because we're going to have to use Kenyon Drake as much as we can. Our defensive scheme is going to be a base 4-3. It's a 73% scheme fit. Works with our secondary, works with our linebackers. Not so much with our defensive line, but I feel like our defensive line is so good it's not going to be a huge deal. So the last thing we have to do before we end this episode is set our season goal, and the lowest amount of wins you can do is 7 wins. I can't imagine us getting 8, 9, 10, making the playoffs, the Super Bowl, anything like that. So let's set it to 7 wins. Let's commit to that. But next episode, we're going to be playing week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. So I hope you guys like this video. Give it a like down below. Subscribe. Come back for tomorrow's video. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.